Captain Jim Staples for some insight. He has more than 30 years of experience at sea and is a maritime consultant at Ocean River LLC. Captain Jim, about 40 hours of oxygen left from what we understand, from what we heard from the Coast Guard. Is that enough? And what happens when that runs out?
Well, actually, it's like you said, it's all about time and how much time we have left with the oxygen supply in the vessel. Not knowing what happened, whether it was a catastrophic systems failure in the capsule or some type of a problem propulsion-wise, we don't know what's happened. We don't know the condition of the capsule right now, so 40 hours being at that depth is going to be very challenging for the professionals that are on scene.
And talk about this search operation. What kind of equipment is being used to look for this vessel?
Well, they're using sonar to reach down to the bottom to see if they can get a ping on something. They're listening for anything that could be coming from the submarine. If she's sending out any type of a message, if that's possible, even though they've lost communications, that's what they'll be looking for and listening for. Right now, it's more of a listening game than anything.
And of course, there are a number of challenges. I mean, look at this video. It's foggy, murky waters in a wide zone in the North Atlantic. I mean, it's not just about one challenge. There are a number of challenges in this search operation. It's very complicated.
Absolutely. We've got the challenge of the depth. We've got the challenge of the weather. And we've got the challenge of not having the resources on scene when it happens. So time is of the utmost presence that they need to get this done as quick as they can and get the resources they need to make available, hopefully, a quick rescue.
Did this vessel, as far as you know, have any kind of mechanism, if you will, for sending out a distress signal?
Well, I would assume that she would have an EPIRB, what we call an EPIRB, which is a distress signal that can be sent to a satellite, but usually that's from the surface. Whether she had any type of distress signal that a submarine would carry, I couldn't tell you that. I have no idea of the classification of the submarine, so that would be what you'd need to look at, is the classification of the submarine and what's required on board.
Captain Jim, let's say they go ahead and find this vessel in the coming hours. Okay, then what? How do you get the people out, the 5 people who are on this?
Well, I would say they're going to have to retrieve the submarine somehow and lift her to the surface. Being at that depth, that's a challenge if it's even possible to get anybody out of a submarine at that depth, which I don't think is possible. But that would be something the United States Navy would have the capability of doing if they do have that capability at that depth.
And from what we understand, contact was lost with this 5-person crew about an hour and 45 minutes after Sunday's dive began. Does that tell us anything at all?
Well, it tells me probably they had some type of catastrophic failure with the submarine, starting with communications, maybe a total loss of power. Was it a battery problem? Was it an electrical problem? Was it a propulsion problem? There's just so many variables here that we just don't know, probably won't know until they recover the submarine. Are
you optimistic they are going to find it?
I'm always optimistic. I mean, you've got the best people in the world doing search and rescue, and that's our United States Coast Guard. They are, without a doubt, the best at doing what they do. And then we have the Navy with all her resources, if they can get the United States Navy up there. So I would say they have the right experts at the right time doing the right job.